big man. You good?
Has come up to join us. Always a pleasure to see him. Frank, it's never dull with these two, is it? You never really know what you're going to get. There were some one-word answers there, but how you were much closer to them than we were. How are they?
At the end of the day, they're very respectful of each other. They shared the ring in a magnificent fight. You know, the biggest heavyweight fight of the 21st century, and a close fight. It was a split decision. Both of them felt they won it. He got the decision by Oleksandr, and they're all they're talking in the ring on the 21st. They're past all that. They're past all the, you know, the banter and all that. They know what to expect. Yeah. They've shared that ring, as I've just said. They know exactly what the other guy's got, and now they'll be thinking, both of them. I mean, you're fighters, you know it. They'll be thinking, right, last time he did this, I've got to make sure that don't happen, and vice versa. That's what it's going to be about, and it's going to be about what. Because that was a tough fight for both of them last fight. I went in the dressing room after the fight and see both of them. And for me, it's going to be who it took the most out of the fight. Because it would have taken something out of both of them.
I think that was a question going into even the first fight. That did the Wilder fights take a lot out of Fury? Because he took some big hits. He had to get up off the floor a lot. And not similar, but obviously we know he was hurt in the 9th of the last fight as well. So are the legs still there? They're a question as well. Obviously, from your perspective, of someone who's been around boxing longer than I've even been alive, do you...
Steady on.
You're not Hall of Fame promoter for no reason. Do you think they have taken a heavier toll on Fury at the moment through the fights, or do you think that it's not so much a factor as it's being made out to be?
Look, first of all, they were tough fights, but Tyson's not got a lot of miles on the clock as far as the amount of fights he's had. You look at his career and how often he's fought, it's not quite a lot of time, certainly in recent years.
Never really took loads of stick in any fights either, has
he got caught with big... and you've got to remember, you know, Deontay's a big puncher, like yourself. He can whack. He's a big puncher. Catches most people, if he catches them right, they go. He got up.
Yeah.
He got off the floor. He done what nobody else could do, where he knocked him out. And that's the difference. And, you know, the thing is I look at Usyk, I look at that 9th round, and I think to myself, he had Tyson in trouble. But the next round, he couldn't do the job. I mean, and Tyson got to the 12th and won the 12th round, even on all the judges' scorecards. They gave it to him.
He recovers well, doesn't he? When he does get hurt, he knows how to get through the moment.
I don't want to see him get hurt. I don't want to see any of that happening. But the end, as I say, it's an intriguing fight. It's going to be a great fight because they're just the both of them believe in themselves. They really believe in themselves. They both believe they're the best, and we'll find out. We will find out. It's going to be a great fight, and I generally do believe Tyson will do the job.
Well, he's always been good in rematches, hasn't he? Historically.
Yeah,
not just the Wilder fight, but even way back with John McDermott.
He figures out the style, and he's a very, you know. But they like all of us, like you mentioned earlier, we're all getting older.
Yeah. And
it's what you can do as you get older. And the thing is with Tyson, for me, he's a very, very smart boxer, and he works people out. And having shared a ring 12 rounds with Usyk, I believe he knows what he has to do.
I was saying to the lads, I think he gave away the first 3 rounds in the first fight by boxing on the back foot. I don't think he'll do that this time. I think he'll take the front foot.
I thought he lost the first round. Second round was even. I thought after that, up until the 8th round, I thought they were his rounds. It was a fight of 2 halves at the end of the day. And Usyk was quite aggressive to start with, which you didn't expect. You know, he came out.
But I think Tyson let him come as well, didn't he? You know,
especially when he was in the corner with him. You know, when Tyson was in the corner, he starts standing square on Usyk, and that's where he was whipping up right hands up.
Him obviously losing, or we consensus saying that he lost them earlier rounds. Where do we think that comes from? Do we think was it overconfidence? Was it taking it a bit lightly? Was it maybe Usyk just surprised him a bit in some areas? From your perspective, where do you think that kind of came from?
I thought his tactics were completely right. And when Usyk went back to the corner in the 7th round, he was wobbling. He caught him a great uppercut.
Yeah, he did.
And most of the people I was sitting with all thought the next round he was going to struggle. But he came out, he flew out, and he hit Tyson on the nose, and Tyson I thought he broke his nose or something, but Tyson, he kept touching his nose, pouring it in his face, and got through the round, that 8th round, and then the 9th round was just for the first 2 minutes he was doing okay, then it was a disaster after that. He got caught and that was it. But he just lost it. He lost that momentum. That punch on the nose for me, that was the momentum and the change.
The real pendulum swing of the fight.
Out of nowhere. I mean, it's out of nowhere. But, that's what's so intriguing about it. They're both extremely, extremely good fighters. And this is the, heavyweight championship of the world is the biggest prize in the sport. And these two guys, I know they're going to put on something extra special, like they did in the first fight.
Have you noticed any kind of difference in him since that? Have you noticed any difference in Tyson since that first fight in any way particularly?
Tyson's a very philosophical person, and he know. I mean, we've had quite a few conversations. He said, "I know what I've got to do." The thing is, knowing what you've got to do and doing it. That's the difference. Can he do it? Can Usyk stop him doing what he wants to do? And that for me is going to be the telling point. But I think Tyson. He's got ring smarts, he's got fast hands, and he's the bigger guy. And more importantly, he's got to use that jab. He's got to, to get out and work off that jab with him, keep him on the back foot. And I think that, like with most heavyweights, I'm not being rude about heavyweights, but you push most big guys back, and they're 20% of the fight they are coming forward, and that's what he needs to do.
I think as well. I wouldn't say it's been lost exactly, because I think everybody realises what a great fight it was, but I mean, it really was an amazing fight, and we've been waiting for Undisputed with the heavyweights for a long time, and people have been criticising the division and the sport. Boxing does itself no favours, etc. All of that. From your perspective, how important was it that they gave us what they gave us? Because it was so good.
Well, it was the biggest heavyweight fight of the 21st century. It's the first time there'd been a four-belt unification fight. It lived up to every expectation. It was a spectacular fight. Two undefeated fighters in the ring, both great at what they do, and it doesn't get any better. And it was a fight that, as we said, it's a pendulum. It was a fight of two halves. That's what it was.
Probably 4 quarters.
Yeah, maybe. But certainly, that's how I see it. A fight of two halves, and I just feel with both of them that the next one will be every bit as good, if not better, because they know each other.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree, but I think Tyson. This time, I don't think he'll give away the early fight. I think he'll take the centre of the ring. I think he'll be a bit heavier than he was the first fight, and I think he'll look to push Usyk back early, straight away.
Okay, well, do stay with us, because Tyson has just gone backstage to have a chat with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, but he will be making his way over to the platform. Frank, in terms of the heavyweight division itself, we were talking about it with Moses Itauma earlier on, and obviously Fabio's right up there now too. How much longer do you think these two will stay with us, Tyson and Oleksandr? Because they're in their mid-30s, getting maybe nearer their late 30s than their mid-30s. They can't go on forever. What's your sense?
Well, I mean, no one can go on forever, that's for sure. There'll be a loser in this fight. I mean, if it's like it was last time and Tyson comes through, I'm sure everybody will be saying, right, now we've need a rubber match.
Yeah. Well, they will, won't they?
Yeah, and that's it. What happens with the guys in the meantime? Got to keep winning. They keep winning. There's 3 belts on the line this time. Daniel has one. He'll be defending his title. And then you're going to get mandatories, or you're going to get belts maybe given up. I don't know how it's going to work out. But the bottom line of it is everybody, yourself, Daniel, all these guys, all got to get into a position where they're the next ones. They got the next opportunity, whether they fight in a mandatory defence, or if it's a vacant title, interim titles. That's what's got to happen now with all of them, and they're in great positions to do it.
So would you say it's quite unlikely that the winner on December the 21st will then fight for Undisputed again against the IBF title holder? Is that something
if that happens, that happens, doesn't it? If Usyk loses, Daniel against Usyk is always going to be a great return match for obvious reasons. There you go. I mean, that'd be a defence. If Tyson wins, there's been all that talk about AJ. I don't know whether that will happen or not, but the facts of the matter is there's so many permutations there to be had, and every one of them are a great fight. And in the meantime, yourself and all the other guys, they're all vying, all in position for other great fights. I mean, heavyweight division's never been so sexy. You've got to go back to the sort of 70s and 80s for this. It's been so good. And the good thing about it is the Brits, I mean, you know, take Usyk out, take Zhang out, and is it Cavalier?
Most of us are QB boys as well.
The rest are all Brits. It's brilliant.
And most of them were in Queensbury, Frank, as well, which is...
Well, they're all sensible guys.